passive investors outperform active investors in a greater scale.
How many years is that? Passive investors outperform active investors?
Siguro maybe 10 years.
10 years time. So, is it actually safe to say that if you are planning to invest in 10 years and you don't have actually the time, just be a passive investor?
Yeah.
You guys have one of the best investors,
Marvin.
financial planners, financial consultants in the land. No? He's one of the best. Honestly, if you want,
He's one of the older ones now.
But older ones give you wisdom also. Parang gano'n in that aspect.
No, it just means we lost more money than
Totoo.
Di ba sabi nga, one of the best to hire a fund manager is you always hire somebody who has already lost money. Kasi may wisdom di ba? May temperament, and as you see, a lot of this has emotion driven, mas clinical na lumalabas.
I'm interested tuloy, was there a mistake in terms of investing naman that you place your money here, it did not go the way you wanted to go? Parang the intention really was to make money, but because of what happened in the economy, what happened to the investment as well?
I think probably the stories, siguro the investments that I've made that looks good on paper,
Okay.
pero in reality, parang did not deliver the way I wanted. Like balanced funds.
UITF balance funds or
Both.
BL balance?
MF, UITF. I noticed these balance funds they look nice on paper, and they do meet the objective. Kaya lang minsan I feel that I could have been better if I separated them. Parang hiwalay yung bonds, hiwalay yung equities, rather than come up with an investment that all together. Because the tendency parang nag-aatakan over a long period of time, I think I could have maximized returns and yields had I done it separately.
So paano yun? You're not too keen to advise people that if you're gonna go UITF, just go direct equity, direct bonds instead of going balance?
Yes. Lately, that's what I've been trying to use now. My personal, Again, it depends, no? There are some people that they feel that it's the right way to do it. In terms of efficiency, separating your equities and your bonds, siguro more...
Okay.
For me, at least for me.
Kasi people have this notion that if it's balanced fund, it gives the fund managers the ability na, okay, pag sa market, I'll move it here.
Marvin, kasi merong true balance at merong hindi.
Okay.
True balance in the sense that there's also percentage, 60-40 or something. Meron namang balance funds, the fund manager have more leeway doing it. Sometimes you see a balance fund that really has a lot of equity in it compared to a bond. That's not a true balance. So, may risk din siya.
But how will people know that they're going for a true balanced fund as compared to something that's leaning towards equities?
I think you better check on the prospectus and you ask the fund managers or at least the advisors as to whether which one is more appropriate for them. Balance kasi is generic, balance equity and bonds, but siguro you have to really look at the prospectus and ask kind of a balance fund these days.
So which leads me to my next question. We've talked a lot about funds, but why do you like funds more than stocks? Why invest it in something that people are managing it than doing it yourself?
Well, number one, I'm not like you, I don't have the time. It's an issue of time, it's an issue of acumen. I also know my limitations.
Time, acumen, limitations. Okay.
Yeah. Number one, time is very important for me. I'm quite busy, I'm raising my family, I have work, I have business and everything. And I don't want to spend that much time trying to take a look at these things. Kasi being a fund manager or managing your own fund, it's mahirap yan The technical, the analysis, every time I listen to you, my nose bleeds. So those things, I understand how it works. But for me to be able to do it on a daily basis, but feeling ko mapapabayaan ko.
Follow-up question to that. So you say one of the limits is time. What's a good time frame of monitoring for a person that should just go for funds na lang? Na parang, okay, I'm busy with
If you're very, very passive, like I am, I think funds would be, I guess, better for you. I'm passive I'm not active
Passive is putting money na lang.
I'm a buy and hold guy
Okay.
Like, most of the investments I've done, maybe more than 80% I haven't touched it. So, because I'm objective driven, my objective is I will use this bulk of this money when actually I need it during retirement.
Saan lang inaanak? Hindi ba yun? Hindi naman.
Hiwalay kasi talaga Hiwalay talaga yung pera for investing. Siguro those that we touch, very, very small.
Okay. Second, you mentioned about acumen. How will investors know that, okay, hindi talaga ako pang stocks
Alam mo, number one, you have to be very, very comfortable in fundamental analysis and technical analysis. So if you're not both, hindi pwedeng isa lang, They haven't done the proper siguro effort to study these things. You'll have a problem. Now, if you want to do more trading like what you do, the technical analysis is very, very important. bata. And ano siya, and ako, I'm a teacher, no? So, after studying all this analysis, ang dami-dami klase, no? So, some of them contradict each other. So, again, that becomes a problem, no? So, again, you have to, there's a lot of discernment and wisdom and analysis, and some of them only time can test it.
What made you decide, sige, okay na, based on what I've studied, parang it's too much eh. I'll just focus on mutual funds.
It's really more behavioral than anything else. Kasi the time that I was buying my own individual stocks, ano siya, hit or miss. Isang okay, isang or bad. So parang, I don't think I want to do this. My background is really more economics and understanding on the macro of these things. That's why things like index, easier for me to grasp and to understand. I'm not saying that people shouldn't go into stock. They should. In fact, we've been talking, which stocks that I would want to buy. Pero ganun pa rin perspective ko, buy and hold. I buy and I hold. No? So basically, ganun yung context ko. If you're the kind of a person that kind of very, very emotional, easily, parang easily be affected, or the market's going up, buy more, nakakasira ng discard eh. Mabagsak ang market, cut loss na, and everything na. May not be consistently objective, but baka mamaya you underperform. That's the reason why passive investors outperform active investors in a greater scale.
How many years is that? Passive investors outperform active investors?
Siguro maybe in 10 years.
10 years time. So, is it actually safe to say that if you are planning to invest in 10 years and you don't have actually the time, just be a passive investor?
Yeah.
What if someone's a passive investor but wants to invest for the short term? What's the advice for that?
Ay, hindi ka passive pag short term ka.
No? So should they not invest or should they trade
maybe
na pag ganun?
Pag ganun kasi, magkaharap ka talaga. I'd still always look at the equities as a long-term gain. I'm a big follower that's really more about time rather than timing because I'm old. I've seen all this market go up and down. Yes. Because I've seen the market go up and down. It's easier for me to take a look at the market from a longer stretch. I was already in the financial service industry in 2008, in 1997. So all these things I've seen, this reversion. So that's why I have this confidence that it's really, it gyrates, but gyrates going up. So that for me is already okay na ako doon. If I want to make higher yields and returns, I'd go to business, for me, which I can really control my returns better.
Which is also interesting though, kasi it's the other side of the story that people who are active into trading and investing, it does not mean also they make money as well to stock. So,
yung kaya naging problema, kaya nga maraming stockbroker broke. That's a joke. That's an old 80s joke.
Any recommendation for people who are starting?
Just want to be clear. I recommend people to buy stocks individually because that's the only way to start. I started that way. Before I invested in funds and everything, I actually bought a few selected stocks, which in hindsight I should have kept. Don't ask me which ones. I should have kept. One of the ones that I bought, a long time ago. Ayan na. I should have held on it. Ayan na lang.
Stocks.
Ayan na Corp. These things I had many years ago. Nag-aaral pa Marvin. Those were good stocks, no? Very good. Stocks. And then some of them are bad. I should have held on to it, no? Yung nga problema eh. Personally kasi, it's easy for me to keep those funds indexed in a very, very passive way as against having those stocks. This is just me, when I hold on to stocks, I have a tendency na malimot, buy and sell it. Pero pag funds, okay, long-term perspective. So again, that's me, That's not, that doesn't mean it's for everyone. Yeah.
You don't know what to invest into, what can they expect?
I guess you need to understand, so they have to have that confidence of what's happening in the economy, At the end of the day, our economy will pretty much dictate the direction of the funds, or whatever investment that you get, whether it's an individual stock, whether you're doing speculatives or crypto or whatever. Money is really more behavioral than anything else.
Not relative. The more money you have, the more relative.
So
that's it. Bye-bye everyone. See you all again soon.